Welcome to Miele Cooks. My name is Vicki Robb, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make deviled eggs using the Combi-Steam oven. There are so many different recipes for making deviled eggs, so we're going to keep that pretty simple because we really want to show you the method of using MasterChef to cook the eggs. The first thing that we need to do is steam our eggs. So I have them on our perforated tray that comes with the Combi-Steam oven. I have it on shelf level too. It really doesn't matter which shelf level you put it on because the air does circulate in a convection pattern. So if you had more than one tray, you could put multiple levels, it doesn't matter. So today I'm going to use the MasterChef function. So I go into MasterChef, and remember this is a food-based program, and I'm going to slide over to eggs, and these are large eggs, and I want them hard boiled, and I'm using steam cooking. So we want to start the oven now, and the oven will tell us it's going to take 12 minutes, and then we can start getting our eggs ready. The oven just finished letting me know that the eggs are done, so let's open the door, let the steam out. I have a towel handy here. So we are going to bring these over to the counter. We're going to let them cool a little bit so we could peel them and then get finished making those deviled eggs. I let the eggs cool for a little while by putting them in a cold water bath. So now I have them ready to peel. I usually try to just give it a tap on the counter, and I can hear that this is the part of the egg that had a little bit of air. So it's easier to get between the egg white and the shell. There's that little thin piece of a membrane that once you get that, it's very easy to peel the eggs. I would say definitely peel them before you refrigerate them. If you were doing this a day in advance, you don't want to refrigerate them in the shell and then peel them. So peel them, put them in a bowl, and you can refrigerate them until you're ready to make the deviled eggs. So I will finish peeling these eggs. I'm not going to refrigerate them. We're going to make them fresh, and it's going to be delicious and yummy. So I didn't think you wanted to watch me cut and clean all the eggs, so I did just cut them perfectly in half and removed the yolk, put the yolks in a bowl. I already rinsed the egg whites. I want to make sure there isn't any little pieces of shell on the outside. You definitely don't want your guests or you eating a little piece of shell. That would be terrible. So I've already rinsed mine. If you haven't yet, this is a good time to rinse them. And I put them on a little platter. So there's so many cute little egg platters out there. We don't happen to have one, but we do have some beautiful platters here. So we took a nice round one and lined it with whatever we had in the fridge, which happened today to be carrot greens. So we have that lined, it's holding the egg whites in place. And now I'm just going to assemble my ingredients. So like I said earlier, there's so many variations. You could make it spicy, you could put olives in it, relish. We're going to use, well, of course, mayonnaise. You have to have mayonnaise to make it that creamy, nice flavor. Some gherkin pickles that we've diced, some yellow mustard, a little bit of the pickle juice, and then some salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna put this all in. Oh, first I have to mash my egg yolk. So I'm just gonna use a fork today. They're kind of dry, so it's easy to do. If you really want to make them creamy, and if you've done a lot of eggs, I mean, I've only done 6. So if you did a dozen or 2 dozen eggs, you may want to use a hand mixer to do this part. All right, so just make sure you get any of the big pieces. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my mayonnaise and with a spatula. And our mustard is next. Just combine those together thoroughly. You want to make sure there aren't any dry pieces of the yolk. Your yolk size could vary. We use large eggs. If you use extra large eggs, jumbo eggs, you might need to use a little bit more mayonnaise to kind of bind it together. This is one recipe I always like to give it a quick little taste right before I put it in the eggs to make sure it doesn't need any seasoning. It's okay, you could be the taste tester. All right, so now I'm going to add my gherkins. And again, a lot of people use relish for that kind of flavor in deviled eggs. We like the size of the gherkins. It's a dice, but it's not like minced. It gives a little texture. Just a tiny bit of the juice from the jar, not a lot. You don't want it to be too wet. And then some salt and pepper. If you, like I said earlier, if you like it really spicy, you could add some Tabasco. You could add a little bit of jalapeno. It's up to you. But I hope you all liked seeing how we use the MasterChef program to cook the eggs, because that's really what we wanted to teach you today. All right, so now I have said I have to take a little taste, make sure I don't need any salt or pepper. I like salt. I'm gonna add a little more. And now I'm going to get it into my pastry bag. I have a really nice decorative tip on the end that I'm gonna use to fill the egg whites. If you don't have pastry bags at home, a lot of people don't, you can use just a plastic storage bag, and you can just cut off the end. It's so much easier to fill the eggs than trying to use a spoon. So you wouldn't have the fancy tip, but you would at least have a nice, easy way to get it into the egg whites. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into my bag, and then I'll let you watch me fill them, and then it's almost time to eat them. We've got our pastry bag. I'm just gonna make sure I push it down as far as I can before it comes out of the tip. Give it a nice little twist on the end so that it doesn't come out the top, because then you'll waste all your ingredients. And I'm just going to put a little bit in each one. It looks so pretty with this decorative tip. Okay. Well, you can go back if you have any extra. I hate to waste it. Some of them are a little more full than others, which is easy to do with a decorative tip. It still makes it look pretty. So I'm gonna put this over here. And we love to use a little bit of smoked paprika for flavor and color for the finished dish. So you can use regular paprika, or you can forego this completely if you want. But we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit on top. It looks so pretty. And I'm telling you, if this was for my family, I definitely would have had to use the whole dozen eggs. When I make these for Easter or Christmas, my mom and my sister stand around the counter and they eat them before the guests get there. It's terrible, and I have to stop them all the time. So there we go. We are all finished, and so quick and easy. You can make the eggs, steam them a day ahead, peel them and refrigerate them, and then just assemble right before your guests arrive. So I hope you try this recipe and enjoy it with your family.